Hi guys, it's Ty and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing yet another book haul because I just can't help myself and I just continue to buy books. But I did realize that as I was gathering up all of the books so that I can talk to you guys about them, I don't have that many physical books to actually show you guys. And that is because at the beginning of this year, I wanted to kind of track how much money I was spending on books, and it was alarming with how much money I spend on books. And so because of that, over the last couple of months, I just haven't really been spending a lot of money on books. And I really also wanted to focus this year on just reading a lot of the books that I already have. So I just don't have a lot of physical books to actually show you guys, which is great. I've been saving money. But I did also realize that a lot of the books that I'm going to be talking about, as far as like my physical books, I've already read them or I'm in the middle of. So that's great. So I haven't been buying a lot of books, and the books that I have been buying, I have been reading. So kudos to me. So because I don't have a lot of physical books to actually show you guys, I am going to talk about some of the books that I have on my Kindle that I just don't talk about and that have just been piling up on my Kindle. I don't reach for my Kindle as often as I should. Back in the day, I used to stay on my Kindle, so I just don't reach for it as often as I should, and I'm trying to change that. So I have been purchasing some books periodically on there, and any book that I purchase on my Kindle, literally they cost like $1. They might show up on Amazon for sale, and any book that I buy on Amazon, they have like the little points now. So if you rack up so many points, they offer you like cheap books on Kindle now. So that's a thing. So I just get them at least less than like $5. So I'll show you guys what I've been kind of like saving up on there and what I do read on there periodically. So I have a few books to show you guys on my Kindle. And then I have been trying to get back on NetGalley. My NetGalley score is terrible. And if you don't know what NetGalley is, really quickly, it's where you can get approved for advanced readers copies for books. And so, like I said, I've been trying to get my score up on NetGalley. So I have been approved for a few ARCs. I did talk about an ARC here recently in one of my recent reads. But I have read another ARC, but I haven't talked about it on my channel. I have read and reviewed it on Goodreads. So if you follow me on Goodreads, you probably have already seen that or read that review. But I will go ahead and talk about the books that I have and will be reading and reviewing coming up. So I have like 5 or 6 to talk about. So I will start off with the physical books first. We will then talk about the books that I have just kind of saved and what I've been hoarding on my Kindle, and then we'll talk about the ARCs that I have been approved for. And I also have my very first physical ARC that I have received in a giveaway, so we'll also talk about that as well. So we will go ahead and get started. So as per usual, we will start with my book of the month picks. So I have February to talk about. I believe that's where I last left off from my last book haul, and then we'll jump into March. And spoiler alert, we will not have a April book of the month discussion because I skipped the month of April because I was just not feeling the picks for the month of April. So no April. So we will start with February. So the first one that I'm going to be talking about is The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. This is a adult thriller, and this one was not on my radar at all. The only reason why I picked this one up is because Kayla over at Books and Lala is going to be reading this one for her Literally Dead book club, and it sounded interesting when she described it. So since it was a book of the month pick, I decided to go ahead and pick it up. But this one just follows a group of writers. They have been picked to go to this writing retreat by this really popular, famous author. And the house that they're going to be staying at for this writing retreat, it kind of has some like haunted history. And when they get to this house, some strange things begin to happen. That's all that I'm going to say. I'm on chapter, I think like 30 something. I've already started this one. Yeah, I'm on chapter 34. I'm in the last like third of the book. I'm not really feeling it. On Goodreads, it has like a 3.5 rating, I believe. Everyone that I have seen talk about this on BookTube have seemed to really enjoy this one. I'm not really feeling it. has taken too long for something to happen, and now that stuff is starting to happen, I just no longer care. And the stuff that was happening in the beginning, I just really wasn't feeling it. I could see what the author was trying to do and what she was trying to say, but I just wasn't feeling it. So I have thoughts. I can't wait to discuss it. I can't wait to see Kayla's live show with the book club. So yeah, I'm just seeing how this is gonna wrap up. But I just don't think this one is my cup of tea. So that's where I'm at with this one. So the next one that I have is Mame by Jessica George. This is a adult contemporary fiction. I've already read and reviewed this one. It's in, I believe, my latest recent reads video, so I will have that one linked down in my description bar if you want to check that one out. But I gave this one a 3 stars. This is one of my most anticipated reads for this year. I did enjoy it. It just didn't hit the way that I wanted it to hit. This is basically like a coming of age story. So we follow our main character by the name of Maddie. She still lives at home. She is taking care of her sick father that has Parkinson's disease. And she's basically just not living the life that a young girl in her 20s should be living. So when tragedy strikes, she now has this opportunity to live the life that she should be living. So this book really talks about like grief and depression and seeking out counseling. It talks about relationships with mothers and their daughters. And I mean, it talks about a lot of good things, but for some reason, I just could not connect with this character of Maddie. And God, her mother was awful, which was the point. But I don't know. For some reason, this just did not connect with me in the way that I wanted it to. I still liked the book and I would still recommend it for people, but just didn't work the way that I wanted it to. My last pick for February is Georgie All Along by Kate Claiborne. This is a adult romance. I picked this one up on a whim. I have not heard not one person say anything about this one, so I had no expectations whatsoever. All I know about this one is she's trying to reinvent herself. She ends up getting this new roommate, which is this guy. I'm going to assume that he is going to help her reinvent herself and they are going to fall in love. That's all I got. And that's what I think is going to happen. So we shall see. So all of my picks for March, I have heard nothing but good things about these. So I hope that I will like all of the books that I actually picked, because it seems like I picked some really good books. So first up, we have The Soulmate by Sally Hempworth, and this is a adult thriller. So this one follows this married couple, Gabe and Pippa, and they're having some marital issues. And then on top of that, they live in this house that is like right on the edge. Well, I don't know if it's like right on the edge, but it's like right by this cliff where people come to die. And so Gabe, I think, likes to, or takes it upon himself to talk people off of the ledge. And then one of the people that have unfortunately gone over the edge, he actually knew. And that is a problem. And that is what this is about. So we shall see. I have never read any of Sally Hempworth's books, so hopefully this will be a good place to start for me. So we shall see. So then we have Lone Women by Victor Lavelle. This is a adult horror. This one takes place in like the early 1900s. I think that we are following like a group of Black women somewhere out west, like in California. And all I got from every synopsis and every review that I've seen people do is it is about something in a trunk. Something crazy is happening in a trunk. Something scary is happening in a trunk. And we're trying to figure out what is in this trunk. That's all I got. So hopefully it's good. I don't know. But I've heard of this author before. Their most popular work is The Changeling, which is a book that I would like to read at some point. So I'm pretty sure that I would get to this one before I get to The Changeling. And hopefully this will be a good place to start with them and figure out what is in this trunk. And then my last pick for the month of March is Rootless by Crystal Zara Pia. I hope I said that right. But this is another adult contemporary fiction. And so this one follows a couple out in London, and I think their names are Sam and Effie. And so they are dealing with an unexpected pregnancy, and they're just trying to figure out what to do. I believe one of them wants the pregnancy, the other one doesn't. And so they are just trying to figure out how to raise a child when one person wants a child and the other one doesn't. And I absolutely love this cover. So there's that. So these next two books I'm going to talk about, I have already read and reviewed. So I will have the links to those videos down below in my description if you would like to know my full thoughts on these. So the first one that I have is Killjoy by Holly Jackson, and this is a YA mystery, and this is a prequel to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. And this one follows our main character from that series, which is Pip, and she's invited to a 1920s themed murder mystery dinner. And it basically just follows Pip and her friends as they solve this fictitious murder of a character from that game. And so I don't think that you need to read this before jumping into that series. Throughout the book, it just hints at a couple of things that happens in that series, but nothing like important, nothing that I feel like you're going to miss out on if you don't read this. But if you did enjoy that series and you liked the style of how those books are written, I think you would enjoy this, and I would recommend this. But I had a fun time with this. I rated it a 4 stars. I enjoy Holly Jackson's books and her writing and her storytelling, so this was just something that I really enjoyed. Like I said, if you enjoyed her other series, I would highly recommend this one. The other one that I already read is Drama Free, A Guide to Managing Unhealthy Family Relationships by Nedra Glover Tawwab. This is a nonfiction. It's like a self-help. This was one of my most anticipated reads for this year. I really enjoyed this one. I gave it a 5 stars. This one is a book that I would technically recommend to anybody just because nobody's family is perfect, and I think that you would be able to pick up something from this even if you think you have the most perfect family, because in my opinion, no family is perfect. I think we have a little dysfunction everywhere. This points out how to deal with a lot of different situations. It gives you a lot of different scenarios. And like I said, I think in here you would be able to relate to something. And if you can't necessarily apply this to family situations, maybe you could apply it to like friendships. I think you could apply it to some aspect of your life. I really like how this points out that you should not allow anybody to mistreat you, even if that is family. I think we as people really miss that point, and we allow family to mistreat us just because they are family. And I just really like how this touches on that point so many times in this book. I just really would highly recommend this book. It's really eye-opening, and it really opened up my eyes to a lot of things. And it really made me take a look at my situation, my family situation. I just would highly recommend this book for sure. So the next two books are books that I am currently in the middle of. The first one being Antimatter Blues by Edward Ashton, and this is the second book in the Mickey 7 duology. I think it's just going to be 2 books, but this is a adult science fiction book, and I really enjoyed Mickey 7. Mickey 7 was one of my top books of last year, and so I was really anticipating this one. I am just now at the point where I'm really starting to enjoy this one. It was really questionable there in the beginning, but just a quick synopsis of this one, just so that I don't ruin it since it is the second book. But this one is just following our character, Mickey. He has lost something in the first book, and in this book, he is now trying to find what he has misplaced, because if he does not find it, everyone might die. So we're just following Mickey as he is now with a group of people trying to find what he has lost. And I'm having a good time with it now. I am buddy reading this with my friend Nakia over at Nakia's Hideaway. I will have her channel linked down below. And I think I'm enjoying this one way more than she is. We both were struggling in the beginning of this one because for some reason, this one, it just didn't grab us the same way that Mickey 7 did. but I'm starting to get into it more now. We are getting introduced to some more characters, some characters that I am enjoying. So I'm starting to have the same feels that I did with Mickey 7, and I'm hoping that it will continue throughout the rest of that book. I'm almost halfway through now, and like I said, I'm having a great time. So then the next book that I have is The Spite House by Johnny Compton. This is a adult horror. This is another one that I did not have on my radar, but I again picked it up because Kayla over at Books and Lala is reading it for her Literally Dead book club. And so this is the book that they are reading for the month of March. So at the time that you are probably watching this, they have not had the live show yet, but I am almost done with it. I am enjoying it, but this one just follows a father and his daughters who have come upon the most haunted house in Texas, which is known as the Spite House. And so they go to stay there, and some strange things start to take place at this house. And we kind of learn the history of this house, and we kind of learn why they need to stay there. And so, like I said, I'm enjoying this. I'm almost finished with it. And it did take a little bit for me to get into it. There are a lot of different perspectives. I don't know how everybody is going to like that, because I know how people feel about a ton of different perspectives in books, but it's working for me. So again, I can't wait to see how everybody else is going to feel about that when we get to the live show. But yeah, I'm glad I did pick this one up, because this is not something that I think I probably would have picked up on my own without having seen it from Kayla. So then I found this one just browsing. And it just caught my eye. It's White Negroes When Cornrows Were in Vogue and Other Thoughts on Cultural Appropriation by Lauren Michelle Jackson. And so it's a nonfiction. The only thing that I can tell you about this one is it is about cultural appropriation. I think we probably all know what that means. And like I said, it just caught my eye. I feel like I've seen this one floating around. It's been out for a little while, but I don't really remember whether or not this was one that people enjoyed, but it did catch my eye. I am interested in it, so I will get to it at some point. But like I said, I am trying to read more nonfiction. I am 3 nonfiction books deep in this year, so I am doing a pretty good job, I would say. So I can't wait to get to this. So then I have a adult fantasy, which is The Justice of Kings by Richard Swan. I've been having my eye on this one, and I feel people have said mixed things about this one. And I follow quite a few fantasy booktubers. Some of them have said that they really enjoyed it. Some have said that, they thought it was okay, but I've decided that I wanted to give this one a try. And to be honest, I don't really remember what this one is about, and the back of it does not give me much to go on. It just literally says, The Justice of Kings introduces Sir Conrad von Valt, Emperor's justice, detective, judge, and executioner all in one. But no man is above the law, and these are dangerous times to be a justice. Great. That gives me nothing. So I can't wait to get to this one. But after I got this one, the second book in this series, I think, has already come out. And I have not really heard good things about the second book. Wham. So, yeah. But I'm still really excited to get to this one. So now I just kind of want to go ahead and talk about some of the books that I have gotten on my Kindle here. Like, I don't want to say recently, because I don't tend to really buy books on my Kindle often. It's really sporadic when I buy stuff on my Kindle. But now that I'm looking here on my Kindle, I forgot that I got some of these. So this will be a shock for me too. Okay, so I guess we will just start at the top, and I will of course insert an image so that you guys will see what I am seeing. So I have Wrong Place, Wrong Time by Gillian McAllister, and this is a adult mystery thriller, and I'm pretty sure that this is the one where I think a mother or a lady, at least I know it's a lady, she's like reliving the same day over and over. So it's like a time loop to like stop a murder or prevent a murder, something like that. So there's that one. And then I have All Good People Here by Ashley Flowers. This is the one that is written by Ashley Flowers, the girl who does Crime Junkie. That is the true crime podcast. And I used to listen to that podcast all of the time. I haven't listened to it in a long time, but I forgot that I bought this one. And all that I know is that it's about a journalist who is looking into the disappearance of a girl. Then I have The Overnight Guest by Heather Gudenkoff. I hope I said that name correctly. This is another adult mystery thriller. We have a theme here. So this one I think it's about a writer. I could be wrong on that. But she's secluded in a house. They are secluded in a house, I think. And something goes wrong. I don't remember, but I got that. So this next one that I have is called Perfect Peace by Daniel Black. This is a adult fiction, historical fiction book. Now, I don't let TikTok dictate what book I'm going to get. But for whatever reason, this one showed up on my For You page on TikTok. And I just had to get it after somebody described it to me. I have read another one of Daniel Black's books before, and I just had to read this. I had to get this one after it was described. So this one is about this mother who was like on her like 6th or 7th child, and she really wanted a girl, but she ended up having a boy. So instead of just letting the boy be a boy, she raised the little boy as a girl. And so when the little boy turned, I don't know, like 7 or 8, she revealed to the boy that, oh yeah, you're not a girl, you're a boy. And then tried to start raising him as what he was born as, a boy. So she raised him as a little girl for a certain amount of time, and then tried to tell him, oh yeah, you're not a girl, you're a boy. And then tried to change it up on him again. Like, what? What? Traumatized. Oh my God. So can't wait. I forgot I had that. Can't wait to get to that. Jesus Christ. I'm traumatized. Ah. Another traumatizing one I forgot that I had was The Perfect Child by Lucinda Berry. Adult mystery? Horror? I don't know. More to come on what genre that's going to fit under. But this one is about, I think, a couple that ends up adopting a child or coming into a child that's not their own, and then the child is not right. I've heard good things about this one, and I've heard good things about Lucinda Berry in general. But I really, 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 really want to read that one, because I love me a good book that has some crazy kids. Not good kids. Okay, so I have 3 books in here by the romance author Denise Williams. So I have The Love Connection, The Sweetest Connection, and then The Misconnection, which are all novellas that take place at an airport. And each of these novellas, I think, is just like a different scenario where they have an encounter at an airport. I have them all separately on my Kindle, and I remember buying them when they were coming out, and they were like separated by like a couple of months when they were coming out. But now I remember they're all bound up in one book, and you can buy them in a paperback, but I have them on my Kindle. So there we go. Another one that I have is The Bone Orchard by Sarah Mueller, which is I think this is an adult fantasy. All I remember about this one, I felt like there was like a little buzz about it last year, I think, it was about necromancy. That was it. I feel like I heard the booktuber Elliot Brooks talk about it. I almost want to say that's why I got it, but that's all that I remember about this one. Another one that I have is This Might Hurt by Stephanie Warble. This was, I think, my most anticipated book for last year, but I didn't end up reading it because I just didn't hear a lot of good things about it. But I remember that it had to do with like a cult, sort of. So it's like an adult mystery thriller, but I never got around to it. And that's literally all that I remember about it. So I guess I'll get to that when I get to that, but that's all that I have on my Kindle, or all that I have on my Kindle that I have not read, that I have got within like the last few months to last year. So now to wrap this up, I'm going to quickly go over the ARCs that I have received. So I'll start off with my physical ARC that I got. And the physical ARC that I got was through a Goodreads giveaway. And I don't know how many giveaways I've entered through Goodreads, but it has been a lot. Like, I've entered so many Goodreads giveaways, and I was just like, hell is gonna freeze over before I win one of these giveaways. And I finally got an email that said I was a winner. Not only did I win, but I actually won one of the books that was on my most anticipated reads for this year. That is The Deep Sky by Yumi Katatsi. And this is a adult like mystery thriller sci-fi book, and I'll just read the back of it. It just says, it's a sci-fi debut. A mission into deep space begins with a lethal explosion that leaves the survivors questioning the loyalty of the crew. And this one comes out July 2023. So like I said, this is my first book that I've ever gotten through a giveaway on Goodreads, and it is the first physical ARC that I've ever received. Yay me. I felt amazing, and I felt so lucky that I got this. So I cannot wait to read this one. I already know that I'm not going to read it until it is closer to the release date for this. So I can't wait till I get to this one. So then the other ARCs that I have, I've gotten all of these through NetGalley. And one of the ones that I have already read and reviewed, and it is up on my channel, and I will have it linked below. It is a part of the last recent reads that I have done. That is Untethered Sky by Fonda Lee. It is a adult fantasy. At least I think it's adult. I've heard some people say that it could be considered young adult. And after thinking about it, I guess it could be considered young adult. But I rated this one a 3 stars. I did enjoy it. There's a bit of like a animal companion part to it. I'm not the biggest fan of like animal companions. So if that is your thing, I think you would absolutely enjoy this one. It just wasn't my thing. I absolutely plan to still get a physical copy of it when it comes out because I love Fonda Lee. I loved her writing, and I still enjoyed the story, so I still want an actual copy of it. But this one just follows our main character by the name of Esther, and she starts off as a apprentice ruck rider, and she is paired with a fledgling. That's what they're called when they're babies. And the fledgling's name is Zara, and they are paired together. They're training. We get to kind of see them train together. And these fledglings, when they get older, they are trained to kill these predators that are known as manticores. And these manticores are really dangerous. They go around and they basically kill people. And Esther has experienced manticores firsthand because they killed her mother and her younger brother. And so the reason why Esther even wants to train these fledglings and be known as like a rough rider is because she kind of wants vengeance for what these manticores did to her family. And so we kind of just watch Esther as she is bonding with Zara. And then once she is no longer considered an apprentice and she is a full-blown ruck rider, we watch as she and Zara go out and hunt these manticores. And we see the relationship that she has with Zara. We watch as they go out and they hunt these manticores. And we watch as Esther and the other rope riders are protecting their village. So the other one that I already have read, but I haven't reviewed it yet on my channel, and that is Dark Corners by Megan Golden, and this is the second book in the Rachel Crawl series. I did not know that this was a series, but the first book is Night Swim. I absolutely adored Night Swim. I gave that one a 5 stars, but Rachel Crawl is the podcaster main character in that book. And so in this one, in Dark Corners, we are again following Rachel Crawl. She has been roped into an investigation, and she is helping these detectives look for this social media influencer who has gone missing. So that is a really simple, basic synopsis of this story. I did enjoy it, not as much as Night Swim, but I still enjoyed the book, and it does a lot of commentary on like social media influencers that I really enjoyed. So I can't wait to talk about that book more around the time that it actually comes out, which is in August. So more to come on that one. So then another arc that I got approved for was The 100 Loves of Juliet by Evelyn Skye, which is an adult romance. This is another one that is set to come out in August. This one follows a woman by the name of Helene who has just gotten out of a messy divorce. I think she ends up meeting a guy by the name of Sebastian, who's a fisherman who might be keeping some secrets, and I guess a romance ensues. We shall see. So then the next one that I got approved for is At the End of Every Day by Ariana Reish. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, but this is a debut novel. It is a adult thriller horror, I believe. And this one is about this theme park. I think some celebrity ends up dying at the theme park. Some people are going missing. And of course, there's some investigation as to why this has happened at this theme park. So I'm really intrigued to figure out what's going on. I love me a good theme park story, at least where that's like the setting of the story. So I can't wait to jump into this. And this one is set to come out on July 4th. And then the last one that I have gotten approved for so far by NetCali is a Teen Kingfisher. The only other Teen Kingfisher that I've read is Nettle and Bone, which I absolutely adored. But this one comes out, like I said, in August, and it's an adult novella. I think it's like fantasy horror, and it's about a princess that is trapped in a tower. That's all that I got. That's all that I remember about this one. And I'm excited about this one because it's another Teen Kingfisher, so we shall see. But those are all of the arcs that I've been approved for so far. Like I said, I've only read 2 out of the ones that I've been approved for. I will probably read them way before that they actually come out, but I won't be doing actual reviews for them on my channel until closer to the time for the release dates. But you will if you follow me on Goodreads, you'll probably see the reviews for them there if you're curious. These are all of the books that I have, and any of them that I have already read and I have reviews for them, I will have them linked down in my description bar if you guys are curious. But that is all that I have for you guys, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.